Okay, Daily Bugle Terminal. Thanks to the Spider-Man Homecoming event.
I think I'll leave this conversation on deep background.
It's really nice that these terminals are starting to move more like one-shots with a little additional quest in between. I really like the idea of having multiple bosses in a terminal. For this, it's the Sinister Six. So the very beginning, you just have to wipe out a couple mobs, but as you progress through, you'll come across like the Rhino, Shocker, Green Goblin, Venom, and eventually you make your way to Vulture, which is really cool. It's really nice to see when new maps come out because they've done such a good job updating all the textures. We used to have a lot of older maps and you're just waiting for it to be updated. But now that they've kind of caught up with updating everything, all the new maps coming out just look good from the get-go. It's really cool too because you'll see a boss that you haven't fought in a long time, but he shows up in a new terminal or a new piece of content and he's got a visual update. So it almost looks like a whole new boss, especially because they've been adding new powers to the bosses as well. It's really nice too entering one endgame terminal, but you see multiple maps as you progress through. It's a nice way to keep it from getting boring or bland. Especially someone like Venom, I don't have very good equips on him. So it's actually probably going to take me about 6 or 7 minutes to make my way through this terminal. Man, Rhino looks great. One thing I kind of hope they change is that they make these one-shot attacks not kill people with max defense. Like for Juggernaut, I've got a ton of points in his defense and dodge rating and all that. It'd be really nice if you could get a tank to a point where those one-shots actually take like 2 hits to kill you, or they wipe out like 75% of your health. I love watching Green Goblin do his powers as you fight him. He's even more fun to play as a character. Found him kind of a nice breath of fresh air, because some of his powers you're holding a key and he's shooting in one direction, but you can transverse your character to left or right while you're shooting. Man, Venom's actually surprisingly fun when you play him for a while. You start to figure out his chain of attacks and when to use what skill and when to move. And the times you don't have to move, like what level of boss or what kind of attack, you can just sit there and gain health with a certain skill. But I can't wait for his next update. Seems like we've had a lot of dev communication about Venom lately in the last month or two. That they're really starting to listen to players and respond and ask about how they can fit the persona of Eddie Brock a little bit better. Have a nice brawler build, but also leave it open for people that like tendril attacks. Me personally, I love the tendril attacks. But especially with Carnage coming out soon, I think that would be a pretty good time to switch Venom to be a little less tendril-like, just to keep it versatile. For the last couple years, I think Venom's kind of served people who have wanted Carnage in the game. Venom served as like a advocate for Carnage. So you can kind of put on a toxin costume and pretend you're him. Use a lot of tendril attacks. With things like Hungry Maw or Deadly Maw. Okay, and that's Tombstone. On to the Vulture. And of course, with any new content, new bosses, you get new artifacts, new uniques. They've been really rare in this terminal, but I actually had one fight with him, and he dropped 3 cosmically enhanced artifacts unique to Vulture in one run. So that was nice. One really nice thing about this game is you can play it for 4 straight hours, or you can play it for 10 minutes and just go. Like, you can log on, play one terminal, and if you're not feeling it, just go. Or, sometimes I have my moments where I'll look at the time and it's like, man, 3 hours just passed. And that's it, Daily Bugle Terminal. While it's here. I think there are plans to make it permanent. I think they should just leave it as it is. It doesn't really need tuning or anything. I don't see a reason why they would take it out. It's awesome.